Ebonmytherial.
They told us it was a secret MrBeast challenge, one that could change our lives forever. They were right, just not in the way any of us expected. I got the invitation in my email at 3:06 a.m. No sender, no subject, just a single line of text. You've been chosen. Meet at coordinates 35.7298, comma, -120.9271. Challenge begins at sunset. Come alone. Attached was a blurry MrBeast logo, distorted, like it had been corrupted. I thought it was a prank. Until I checked the coordinates and found they led to an old, abandoned airstrip. By the time I arrived, 59 others were already there, all of them buzzing with the same theory: secret MrBeast video, high stakes, hidden cameras, big money. But there were no cameras, no crew, just a massive painted circle on the tarmac. And in the center, a rusted digital timer set to 60:00. Challenge begins now. Last to remain in the circle wins. Ha! We all laughed. Classic Beast, right? Then the timer began. 59:59, 59:58. Exactly at 58:00, the guy next to me, Eli, just vanished. No scream, no sound, no trace. He was there. And then he wasn't. His phone hit the ground a second later, still recording. At first we thought it was a prank, a stunt, a new VFX trick. Someone shouted, "Eli, yo, you hiding?" No answer. 57:00. Another person vanished, mid-sentence, left behind her shoes. People started panicking. Some ran for the edge of the circle. Leaving the circle results in elimination. Then we saw it. Two guys who crossed the line dropped dead. Eyes open. No pulse. Just gone. We were trapped. The timer kept ticking. One person gone every single minute. And it wasn't random. It was like it was choosing. People screamed, pleaded, tried to call for help. But every phone blacked out. 3 people tried smashing the timer. The moment one touched it, they all vanished. No trace. Just silence. By sunset, only 42 of us were left. Then something changed. A wind rolled in, but it didn't move anything, didn't make a sound. It just passed through us. It smelled like burnt metal and rotting fruit. Every minute, one will vanish until the truth is seen. It sounded like MrBeast, but not really. Slower, distorted, wrong. The timer hit 30:00. Then it glitched. It skipped ahead, straight to 1:00. Everyone panicked. One guy dove out of the circle to escape. He collapsed instantly. The rest of us just stood there. Tick, tick, tick. One guy was whispering, "Not me, not me, not me." Gone. When it ended, I was the only one left. The timer reset. 60:00. Then the voice returned. "Let's do it again." That was 2 days ago. The sun won't rise. Time won't move. The names of the others, I'm starting to forget them. Like they never existed. If you're watching this, don't open the email, don't go to the circle, and whatever you do, don't be the last one left.
It was just a beta test, a chance to play MrBeast's unreleased horror game before anyone else. 10 of us logged in that night. Only one made it back. I still remember the email. You're invited to an exclusive early access VR experience by MrBeast. Be the first to try Beast Mode, Nightmare. $100,000 to whoever completes all 5 levels. At first I thought it was a scam, but it came from his verified account, complete with legal disclaimers and a flashy teaser trailer. Honestly, it looked like another one of his insane ideas. The thrill, the mystery, the chance to say I played it first. I couldn't resist. They shipped me a matte black VR headset. No logo, no serial number, just a red sticker on the side that read, "Do not remove while playing." That should have been the first red flag. At exactly midnight, the game launched. My headset booted up with a flicker. No loading screen, no title, just static and then silence. And then a voice, distorted but unmistakable. "Welcome to Beast Mode, Nightmare. Beat the game or stay forever." I laughed, thinking it was part of the gimmick, until I opened my eyes. I was standing in a dark concrete hallway. The air was heavy, thick with dampness. A single light bulb buzzed above, flickering every few seconds. My hands looked like mine, but something was off. My reflection in a broken mirror down the hall blinked. Out of sync. There were 9 others with me, random players from around the world. We could all see each other, talk, move like in any VR lobby, but none of us had usernames, just faces, real ones. One girl, Jenna, tried to access the menu to log out. Nothing. No HUD, no options, no exit. Another guy, Marcus, ripped the headset off. At least he tried. His hands passed right through it, like it was fused to his head. That's when the lights went out. We screamed as a heavy door slammed shut behind us. Then another voice echoed through the darkness, louder, sharper, layered like hundreds of voices stacked together. "Level 1, survival. Only the strong move on." The hallway transformed. Walls peeled away like paper, revealing a massive hedge maze lit only by distant torches. In the center, a sound. Scraping metal. Slow footsteps. Something was in there with us.
We scattered. I stuck with two others, Ravi and Ella. We ran blindly through the maze, breath ragged, walls closing in. Every corner brought more confusion, more fear. Then we heard it. A blade dragging across the stone. Something was breathing behind us. Ella turned to look. I grabbed her arm, shouted not to. But she did. And in the blink of an eye, she was gone. No scream, no blood. Just deleted. Ravi started mumbling, saying he wanted out. He pressed his hands to his temples, crying, "I don't want to play anymore." Then his body began to glitch. Pixels stretching, limbs twitching, before his mouth opened impossibly wide and he just shattered into static. I ran. Level 2 was worse. It dropped me into an empty suburban neighborhood at night. Street lights flickered. Every house was identical. All the windows were black, but someone or something was watching from inside each one. Silhouettes would move when I wasn't looking. One window at the end of the block stayed lit, just a red glow pulsing like a heartbeat. "Find the real house. Only one is safe." I tried 10. Each time, something tried to pull me inside. Fingers scraping the doorframe, voices whispering my name through the vents. On the 11th try, I found a room with an old CRT television. It showed static, then flickered to a live feed of me, just standing there, breathing, and behind me, a tall shadow with no face. The feed blinked again. The shadow was now inside the room with me. I didn't wait. I ran through the TV. Level 3, I can barely describe it. An endless void. Floating MrBeast logos. Whispers of his past videos warped into monstrous versions. In one, he buried someone alive. Not for 50 hours, but forever. This wasn't a game. It was a trap. A twisted parody of every video he'd ever made, turned into punishment. At level 5, I was alone. A single chair sat in the middle of a white room. On it, another headset, just like mine. Above it, put it on. Finish the challenge, win your freedom. I didn't want to. I stood there for minutes, maybe hours. Then I heard the voice again. "We can go. Your reality is already gone." I put the second headset on, and now I don't know where I am. Everything looks real, feels real, but sometimes people around me glitch. Their eyes don't blink, their mouths move out of sync, and when I dream, I'm still in the maze. If you get the email, don't click the link. Don't put on the headset. Don't play the game. Because once you do, you're already his content. I remember the challenge, the rules, the prize. But no one remembers me, not even my own mother. It started with a message hidden inside a MrBeast video, not a comment, not in the description, in the 12th frame of a blinking light, just for a second, was a string of numbers, a set of GPS coordinates. Some Redditor posted about it. The thread blew up, then vanished hours later. But I remembered the coordinates, so I went. It led me to an abandoned fairground outside of town. Gates rusted, booths empty, A giant clown sign faded by years of wind and rain. At the center was a white van. A man in a MrBeast hoodie waited beside it, smiling way too wide. "You found it. You're in. Welcome to the Forgotten Challenge." I asked if it was a joke. He just laughed and handed me a card. Black, no text, just a time, 2 a.m. And below it, bring nothing, tell no one. I didn't sleep that night. At 2 a.m. sharp, I returned. The van was gone, but a massive underground door was open beneath the carousel. 50 of us walked inside. The room was cold, like concrete soaked in winter. There were no phones, no introductions, just 50 people standing in a circle. We were told the rules over a loudspeaker. "You are here for the ultimate challenge. Complete it and win $500,000. Fail, and the world forgets you completely. No pain, no death, just erasure." We all thought it was theater, extreme performance art. But then they brought out the first test. A massive touchscreen lit up. The words "memory match" appeared in bold red. It showed us a sequence, colors, sounds, names, then went black. We had to repeat it exactly from memory. Any mistake. A girl, Sam, I think. She missed the second pattern. The floor opened beneath her. She didn't scream, didn't resist, just fell, like she knew it was coming. A soft thump echoed below. Then something even worse happened. The guy next to me turned and said, "Where's the blonde girl? The one that was standing here?" We all stared. No one remembered her. Not her name, not her face, not her voice. Even I, who just watched her vanish, felt her image slipping from my brain like fog. We passed the next few rounds in terrified silence. One by one, people failed. One by one, we forgot them. There was a room of doors, 49 identical white panels. We had to choose one. Only one was safe. If you picked wrong, your door opened to a mirror, and in it, you watched yourself blur, fading like a dying photograph. Then, nothing. By the fourth round, we were down to 12. A man began sobbing, saying his wife was pregnant, that he didn't care about the money anymore. He begged to leave. The voice came again. "You may leave, but no one will remember you loved anyone." He stepped toward the exit. The second his foot crossed the threshold, he stopped, looked around, and whispered, "Where am I?" He didn't know his own name, and neither did we. At 6 contestants, we were forced to vote, choose someone to eliminate. The person with the most votes would vanish. I refused, said it was wrong, said we could all walk out. The others didn't care anymore. Their hands shot up. They voted for me. I got 5 out of 5. I should have disappeared. But something broke in the system. Instead of erasing me, the power flickered. A siren wailed. Red lights bathed the room. I collapsed, blacked out. I woke up in my apartment. Same clothes, same bed, same phone on the nightstand. Except my call history was empty. Messages? Gone. I opened my contacts. My mom's name wasn't there. I searched her on Facebook. Nothing. Tried my best friend. Gone. Tried me. My account didn't exist. I walked to my parents' house. Knocked for 5 minutes. My mom opened the door. I smiled. Said,
"Mom, it's me." She stared at me like I was a stranger. "Can I help you?" I said my name, my full name. She shook her head slowly. "I'm sorry. I think you have the wrong house." I don't exist anymore. Not on paper, not in memory, not even in reflection. Sometimes I catch glimpses of myself, blurry in glass, like something the world is trying to erase. If you ever get that card, if a man in a MrBeast hoodie ever hands you a blank time, burn it. Don't play the game. Don't chase the money. Because if you lose, you don't just disappear. You're forgotten.
It looked like a regular MrBeast video. Over-the-top challenges, huge prize, wild stunts. But by the end of it, I saw something standing behind him, smiling. It started with a Reddit post titled, "Deleted MrBeast Video, Not for Kids." No link, no title, just a screenshot. Jimmy standing in an empty warehouse holding a duffel bag of cash. Behind him, a figure. Blurred. Almost human. Almost. The post had over 12,000 upvotes before it disappeared an hour later. I saved the image. Did a reverse search. Nothing came up, except a weird file on the dark web buried under a string of random characters and flagged by 3 different users as unstable media. They called it the Forgotten Episode. I downloaded it at 2:14 a.m. That alone should have stopped me. But I was obsessed with ARGs, YouTube mysteries, lost media. This, it felt like the Holy Grail. The file was 44 minutes long. No title screen, no intro music, just a cold open. Jimmy standing in a massive, abandoned mall. He smiled, like always. Today, I'm giving away $1 million to whoever survives the night in this place. But something was wrong. His voice was flatter, like it had been slowed, but only slightly. There was no background music, no cuts, just long, awkward silences between lines. The contestants didn't laugh or smile. They didn't even speak. And the worst part? In every wide shot, there were more people than there should be. The camera would pan across 7 players, but 8 shadows. I watched the whole thing, hoping it was just a fan edit. But then something happened. My lights flickered. At first, I thought it was a power surge, but everything else stayed on. Monitor, fan, phone charger, only the lamp beside me stuttered. When I looked back at the video, Jimmy was staring directly at the camera. Not at the camera in the warehouse, at me. You shouldn't be watching this. I paused the video, closed the tab. My screen didn't respond. It just kept playing. Jimmy was walking now, through the halls of the mall, alone. His footsteps echoed for too long, like the reverb was broken. And behind him, something followed. Not in focus, not visible, but I heard it. Something dragging. after he entered a toy store, the camera glitched. The frame froze for exactly 6 seconds, and when it came back, all the mannequins were facing the camera, and their mouths were open. Not sculpted open, ripped. I yanked out my internet cable, slammed my laptop shut, but I could still hear the audio. A low whisper. Coming from my headset, not from the game, from the headset itself. It whispered my name. I didn't sleep that night. When I checked Reddit the next morning, 5 accounts that had commented on the original post were gone. Deleted. Not banned, not suspended, just like they never existed. I checked Discord. A friend of mine, Devin, who had been talking about the video with me, wasn't in my contacts anymore. I called his number. A voice picked up, but it wasn't his. Devin can't come to the phone right now. He's filming. By the second day, I couldn't shake the feeling someone was watching me. Not the kind of paranoia from no sleep. Real watching. My webcam light blinked on when I wasn't using it. I taped it up, but every night at 2:14 a.m., I hear 3 knocks on my bedroom wall, always from the inside. I went back into the file, tried scrubbing to the end. The last 3 minutes were corrupted, black screen. But if I listened close, I could hear something. Whispers layered beneath static. Voices begging. And Jimmy's voice, soft, calm, clear. Everyone who watches becomes part of the content. That's the deal. We never really delete anything. I destroyed the laptop, burned the hard drive, moved to a new apartment. But every few nights I still see it. That same frame. Jimmy standing in the mall, and behind him, something waving. If you ever see the forgotten episode, don't press play. Because the moment you do, you're already in it.
The cameras went dark on day 34, and from that moment on, something started breathing where it shouldn't. I was one of the 10 contestants chosen for MrBeast's Survive 100 Days in a Bunker challenge. $500,000 if you stayed the entire time, underground, with strangers in a luxury fallout shelter packed with supplies, food, and endless content to stream. They were all huge fans. Some came for the fame. Me, I needed the money. The bunker itself was massive, converted from an old Cold War facility. Steel walls, flickering fluorescent lights, dozens of rooms. There were cameras everywhere, tracking our every move, every confession, every bit of drama. The first few weeks, it felt like a weird reality show. Arguments over food, alliances forming. One guy, Keegan, kept trying to scare people for laughs. But then, on day 34, everything changed. We were in the rec room when the lights went out. All of them. No flicker, no warning, just dark. Emergency backup lights kicked in, dim red glows from the corners of the ceiling. But the cameras didn't come back on. The little red recording lights? Gone. We tried calling production. No signal. Phone's dead. And then the speakers buzzed with static. Just static. No announcements. No instructions. And we waited, thinking it was just a twist in the challenge. MrBeast does love suspense. But at 2:37 a.m. that night, Travis disappeared. He had the room next to mine. We heard something, like metal dragging on the floor, slow and steady. Then a bang. When we opened his door, his bed was empty. Sheets folded, pillow untouched. No signs of struggle, no blood, no footsteps. Just one thing written on the wall in dust. One less. We thought he bailed. Maybe he quit the game. But the hatch at the end of the corridor was still locked. From the inside. Over the next 3 days, 2 more vanished. Kelly and Miles. Both gone from their locked rooms. Same thing on their walls. 8 left. 7 left. Some of us wanted to break open the hatch. Others said it was part of the game. And we found the footage. Ethan, the tech guy, had been recording with his own hidden cam for vlog content later. He checked the SD card. There was a clip. Taken while we were all asleep. In the hallway, something moved. Too fast for the light to catch clearly. But it was tall. Slender. Its arms almost dragged along the floor. It walked like it'd forgotten how to. We argued for hours. Some said it was a prank, CGI. But Ethan's hands wouldn't stop shaking. He said the thing didn't make noise when it walked. Not a sound. Like it wasn't part of the space around it. On day 40, Ethan was gone too. But this time we heard it. Breathing from inside the vents. It stopped above my bed that night. I didn't move, didn't blink, just waited, heart hammering. And then I heard my name. Whispered. Drawn out like it didn't understand how to speak. Caleb. By day 50, we stopped sleeping. We took shifts, covered the vents, sealed doors with furniture. It didn't matter. It could be anywhere. No power, no contact. We tried banging on the walls, screaming into the cameras. No one came. The writing on the wall changed again. 3 left. But there were still 4 of us. That's when we realized it wasn't just counting bodies. It was playing. On day 63, Keegan lost it. He said if it wanted someone, we should give it a name. He pointed at me. I begged, pleaded. He locked me in the food storage. I thought that was it. But the breathing came for him instead. Loud, close, And then... I don't know how many days it's been since then. The clock in the bunker stopped. I'm alone now. At least, I think I am. But I still hear the others. Not screaming. Laughing. Like the thing is wearing their voices. If this somehow makes it out, if someone finds this footage, please don't go in after me. Don't think you're saving anyone. The game ended weeks ago. But it's still counting. And I think it wants to reach 0. We thought the cameras caught everything. Every second of the 100-hour pyramid challenge. But when we reviewed the footage, one of us was gone, and the walls had started whispering. When MrBeast announced a 100 hours in a real pyramid challenge, I couldn't believe I got in. 10 of us, hand-picked fans, were flown to a closed-off excavation site somewhere in Egypt. He rented an entire ruined temple for the shoot. Typical Jimmy, right? Except this wasn't just any pyramid. It had no official name. No tourist access. Even the locals refused to go near it. They called it Al-Majid Al-Samit, roughly translated, the Silent Glory. A bit dramatic, but it added to the thrill. The rules were simple. Survive inside the pyramid for 100 straight hours. No phones, no contact, just infrared cameras, walkie-talkies, and each other. Every 10 hours, a new challenge would be delivered to spice things up. $100,000 if you lasted the full time. Looking back, I would have paid anything not to go in. The moment we stepped through the narrow stone entrance, the air changed. It was thick, like the weight of the past was pressing on our lungs. No birds, no wind, just silence. Not even the sound of our own footsteps echoed right. The interior was colder than it should have been, despite the desert heat. Torches and camera rigs lit the way through tight passages carved from crumbling sandstone. Each chamber had hieroglyphics none of the crew could translate. Symbols twisted in ways that didn't match anything in the books. A camera guy, Shane, joked they looked like static from an old TV. We laughed then. Not for long. By hour 12, the first challenge was simple. Spend the night in total darkness. They turned off all the lights at midnight. That's when we heard the first whisper. Ana, shept, recta. A soft voice, not male or female, like it was being spoken right beside my ear, but when I turned, no one was there. Others heard it too. We brushed it off as part of the show. Maybe Jimmy had planted speakers to freak us out. But when we asked the production team through walkie, no one answered. Just static, like someone breathing in reverse. And the feed from the camera mounted on his helmet? Corrupted. Glitched like it had been fried. And the wall where he vanished now had fresh carvings, a row of symbols glowing faintly in the bark. None of us touched it. By hour 39, the air grew heavy, harder to breathe. Some of the stone doors closed by themselves. Cold drafts came from places that were sealed. And the whispers grew louder. They repeated our names. Not at all at once, just one at a time. Like the pyramid was getting to know us. At hour 50, we tried to quit. All of us, even the most die-hard fans. But the entrance was blocked. Solid rock like it had never been there. We radioed the crew again. This time we got a reply, just one voice. A man whispering in that same strange language, then laughter. Jimmy's laughter. But warped, distorted, like it wasn't really him. Hour 61, one of the contestants, Liam, tried to smash a wall with a rusted torch stand. He struck it 3 times, then froze. His eyes glazed over. He just dropped the torch and walked into the darkness. We chased him, but his footprints ended halfway through the corridor. There was no turn, no trap door, no way out. Just gone. And the wall where he vanished now had fresh carvings, a row of symbols glowing faintly in the dark. Hour 78, the cameras began recording without anyone near them. At one point, footage from a sealed-off burial chamber played on the main monitor. We weren't supposed to be able to access that area. No one had gone near it. And yet, we saw ourselves sleeping, talking, and sometimes standing completely still, staring at the walls. But we didn't remember doing that. One clip showed all of us asleep in the main room, while a tall shadow moved slowly between us. Hour 88, the whispers stopped. Everything did. No more movement, no sound. Just pressure, like the walls were closing in. And the light from our torches didn't reach as far anymore. The darkness became thick, alive. We were down to 4. At hour 99, the door opened. Just like that. The crew was outside, smiling, clapping. Jimmy high-fived us. "Congrats, you survived!" We were stunned, traumatized. We told them what happened in there. They claimed none of it was on camera. No corrupted footage, no glitches. Max, Liam never showed up on any roster. Even their application files were gone. No one remembered them except us. I asked Jimmy later, off camera, if he really didn't know what happened in there. He just smiled and said, "It's the thing with ancient places. They don't always want to be filmed." A month later, I checked the raw files I managed to copy before leaving. One clip stood out. Just static at first. Then a frame of me standing in the hallway, smiling, with empty eyes. The time code read hour 103. But I don't remember staying that long. Do you?
He said it wasn't real, that it was just a hallucination. But when we pulled him from the chamber, his eyes were missing. It was supposed to be the next big thing in immersive horror experiences. A show called Face It, part game show, part exposure therapy, part nightmare. 6 contestants, 1 isolated compound. Each of us would enter something they called the fear chamber, a padded, soundproofed room laced with experimental tech, neural triggers, subconscious stimuli, mild hallucinogens, all FDA cleared, of course, allegedly. The rules were simple. Spend 30 minutes alone in the chamber. Face your worst fear, whatever your brain creates. Don't run. Don't look away. Confront it, or it finds you later. We signed waivers as thick as phone books. Producers called it cutting-edge entertainment, and we believed them. At least until the 3rd night. I went second, right after a guy named Malik, who claimed his biggest fear was drowning. His chamber session? Flooded up to the knees, walls warped like aquarium glass. He came out shaking, gasping, drenched in sweat, but smiling. Said he saw his childhood pool, a lifeguard who never came. Then he said something strange. It let me out when I remembered how I died in the dream. We laughed, thought it was a metaphor. But it wasn't. The producers never told us how the system knew our fears. Said it was a combination of biometric scans, sleep pattern analysis, and deep psych profiling. Whatever it was, it worked. When I stepped inside, it was pitch black. A slow mechanical hum filled the air, like a deep exhale echoing through a metal tunnel. The walls shimmered, pulsed, then the lights flickered on, and I was back in the place I hated most. My old childhood basement. The one where I used to lock myself in as a kid to escape my stepfather. Only this time, the door at the top of the stairs was open. I heard someone walking above me, but the footsteps weren't right, too slow, too heavy, and every time I stepped forward, the stairs got longer. That's when the voice came, my stepfather's, but distorted, echoing, not yelling, not angry, just mocking. Thought you'd outgrow the dark, huh? Guess not. I screamed at the ceiling, said he was dead, that none of this was real. The lights went out. And then, something breathed behind me. I bolted, tripped, slammed against a wall that wasn't there before. Felt wet fingers brushing my back, slow, deliberate. That's when I did what the rules said. Turned around, faced it. And there he was. Not as I remembered him, but twisted. Eyes like smeared ink, mouth too wide, no nose. He didn't speak, just grinned. Then the timer buzzed. Lights snapped on. I was alone. I crawled out sobbing. They told me I passed, that my vitals were stable. But something still felt wrong. Then it was Eric's turn. He was the quiet one in the group, calm, focused, logical. Said he feared nothing but losing control of his own mind. The producers loved it, thought it'd be great for TV. They hyped it up for days. But when the session started, the monitor outside the chamber began glitching. We couldn't see his feed, only hear him, breathing and whispering to himself over and over again, "I know this isn't real. I know this isn't real." 15 minutes in, he screamed. Not loud, not wild, just sharp, sudden, like someone jabbed ice straight through his skull. We banged on the door, yelled for the crew to cut the session, but no one could open it. The system wouldn't respond.
We watched helplessly as Eric begged to be let out. Then, silence. 5 minutes later, the door opened by itself. He was sitting in the corner, eyes open, not moving, smiling, but not there, and his pupils were completely white. They rushed him to medical, said he had no trauma, no injuries, but when they replayed the footage, it didn't play. Every time the video reached the moment he screamed, the feed corrupted, blacked out, crashed the entire system. Even when they exported it frame by frame, that part was missing. Eric never came back. They told us he was transferred, family emergency, but his belongings were still in his room. His toothbrush, his socks, his phone, all untouched. And when we tried to message him, our texts bounced back. This number is not in service. That night, I dreamed I was back in the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs wasn't open anymore. It was gone, and something was knocking from the other side of the wall. I haven't told anyone this part before, but I'll say it now. Every night since that day, I've seen Eric. Not in person, not online. In reflections. Windows, mirrors, dark screens. He's always smiling and whispering something I can't quite hear. Something like, "You didn't face it, so now it's coming." If you ever hear of a show called Face It, don't watch. And whatever you do, don't apply.
The confetti fell. Cameras flashed. But as I walked out of the arena, I realized something was horribly wrong. I was the only one left. When MrBeast announced the 2,000 player elimination challenge, it broke the internet. No details, just a date, a location, and a promise. Win the game, win $5 million. I don't even remember applying. I just remember getting the acceptance letter and the non-disclosure agreement. They called it The Zone, a massive, privately constructed arena in the Nevada desert rumored to be bigger than 3 football stadiums stitched together. Fully isolated, no phones, no contact, no exits until the challenge was complete. When I arrived, the air buzzed with energy. Helicopters circling, drones flying. MrBeast himself was there, smiling, waving, hyping it up like always. One of you will win $5 million. The rest, eliminated. We thought it was just branding, drama, but we were wrong. Dead wrong. We were divided randomly into zones, each one themed differently. Mine was called The Tower. 30 floors, each level with challenges, physical, mental, or psychological. Survive the floor, move up. At first, it felt like a game show. Riddles, maze races, memory puzzles. Some contestants quit when it got too intense. Others vanished between levels. We were told they were disqualified. But I started noticing things. People I remembered competing with, no one else seemed to recall them. I'd mention names. Kayla, Tom, Nate, the guy with the green hoodie, any of them, and get blank stares. Even the walls felt off, always damp, always cold, even though we were deep in the desert. And the cameras, they never stopped recording. Even when we slept, even when we cried. By day 12, I made it to the final floor. Only 7 of us were left. The last challenge? Total isolation. They put each of us in separate, windowless rooms. No clocks, no sound, no light. Just a button in front of us with one rule. Press when you're ready to leave, but only one button will open the door. Simple, right? But time twisted in that room. I had no idea if hours passed or days. I pressed the button eventually. Sick, weak, terrified. I just wanted out. The door opened, and there was no one there. No crew, no producers, just the empty arena. Desert sun flooding in from the open gates. I wandered through the floors. All of them were clean. No signs of people, no trash, no noise. Like the entire thing had been reset, scrubbed clean. And then I stepped outside. Helicopters swirled overhead. MrBeast's crew clapped. The crowd roared. Confetti burst into the sky. A giant check with my name on it was waiting at the podium. I was smiling, shaking Jimmy's hand. But then I asked, "What happened to the others?" He blinked. "What others?" I laughed, thought it was part of the act. Kayla, Tom, Nate, the guy with the green hoodie, any of them. Where are they? He just looked at me, smiling. But his eyes weren't smiling anymore. You were the only one. I started panicking, pushed past the crew, tried to find a staff member, anyone who remembered, but everyone said the same thing. There were no others. There was no tower. There were no zones. Just me, the sole contestant. Even online, no footage existed. The videos posted to the MrBeast channel showed only my face, my reactions, my victories. All the group shots had been edited, all crowd audio dubbed, comments disabled. I contacted my parents, my friends. None of them even knew I'd left. My best friend swore I was at home the whole time. Even sent me texts I apparently replied to while I was in isolation. But I didn't type them. That night, I couldn't sleep. I dreamed of the tower, but it was empty. Just walls stretching upward forever. And behind me, the sound of hundreds of footsteps, shuffling, dragging, following. I'm rich now, famous, the winner of the biggest challenge ever. But when I look in the mirror, sometimes I see faces behind me, blurry, watching, mouths moving silently, begging to be remembered. I don't know what I won, but I know what I lost. 2,000 people entered. Only one came out. And now, even I'm starting to forget their names.
The balloons never deflated. The crowd never left. And I haven't seen the sky since the day I won. I was always a die-hard MrBeast fan. Watched every upload the second it dropped, entered every giveaway, followed every challenge thread. So when I got the email, "You've been selected for the Ultimate Fan Challenge," winner gets $1 million and a lifetime experience with MrBeast, I nearly passed out. The challenge itself was ridiculous in the best way. Survive 7 increasingly difficult obstacle rooms, each designed to push physical limits, endurance, and fear. It sounded like a dream. But the rules had one weird clause in the contract. Participant must agree to complete all rounds regardless of outcome until the experience is considered fulfilled.
I figured it was legal fluff. I signed, I flew out, I smiled for the cameras, and I never went home. The first challenge was simple. Room of foam pit floors and swinging bags. Time the run. I crushed it. Jimmy and the crew cheered, cameras rolled. I was hyped. The second was a haunted house maze. Screams, fog, fake blood. More elaborate, but still fun. By the fourth room, though, the tone changed. It was a dark, featureless hall with motion sensors that blasted high-pitched static if you moved too fast. No camera crew, just mounted rigs and a glowing exit sign. I heard something breathing behind me. I ran anyway. Got out shaking. They said I did great. No one mentioned the thing that had followed me through the last door. After the 7th challenge, a vertical climb above simulated lava, I expected confetti, cash, a big Jimmy hug. Instead, the walls shifted. Literally. What looked like a finish line melted away and revealed another door. The crew didn't clap. They just stood there, watching. Jimmy walked over, grinning, but his eyes didn't match his smile. "Congrats! You're ready for level 8. I laughed. Wait, wasn't that the final challenge? He clapped my back, then turned and walked away. No one answered when I asked again. Room 8 was pure darkness. No obstacles. No rules. Just a voice. My voice, playing from unseen speakers. "Don't leave. You said you'd never quit." I ran in circles until a trapdoor opened beneath me. That was 20 rooms ago, each one worse than the last. Longer, colder, more aware. Room 12 whispered secrets about my childhood, things I never told anyone. Room 16 had a mirror. I stared into it for hours before I realized the reflection wasn't copying me. It was waiting for me to blink first. I haven't eaten in days, or maybe weeks. Time doesn't move right here. There's no crew anymore. No Jimmy. Just speakers and screens, looping clips of smiling fans shouting, "Subscribe for a cookie!" Over and over. Room 21 had a camera that recorded me sleeping. When I woke up, the footage played on the walls. But in the recording, I never moved. I just lay there, eyes wide open, staring at the lens. I've tried quitting. I screamed into every corner, begged for release. The door always opens again, always leads to the next room, each time with a new label. Challenge 22, endure. Challenge 23, remember. Challenge 24, forget. I don't even know what I'm supposed to win anymore. I saw someone else once. Just a glimpse. Someone crawling through a vent in Challenge 18. Their mouth was sewn shut, eyes hollow, like they'd been here too long. They reached for me, but the wall closed between us. And then the speaker crackled. Solo run required. No interference. I don't sleep now. When I try, the lights flash red and alarms blare until I get up. Sometimes a fake Jimmy appears, grinning too wide, eyes too still. "One more room, man. You're almost done. Aren't you having fun?" Last night, I found a hidden door in the wall behind a monitor. Inside, a break room. Empty coffee cups, crumpled scripts, a schedule pinned to a corkboard. Final challenge. Question marks. Status. Indefinitely postponed. There was a Polaroid taped below it. My face. Smiling. Labeled Contestant Number 1. Still playing. This morning, I woke up in a white room with no walls, just light. No door. A single pedestal holding a note. Would you like to play again? I didn't answer. I didn't have to. The floor dropped, and I fell. If you ever win something too good to be true, a challenge, a show, a chance to live your dream, don't say yes. Don't sign anything. And whatever you do, don't win. Because the prize is never leaving.
His thumbnails still update, even when he hasn't posted. And the last time someone cracked the code, they went silent midstream. I used to run a conspiracy channel on YouTube. Nothing too serious. Mostly clickbait, weird theories, urban legends. But the videos that always performed best were about MrBeast. Is MrBeast actually a time traveler? MrBeast's secret channel no one talks about. MrBeast and the Illuminati pizza giveaway. All harmless stuff, right? Until I covered the MrBeast Curse. At first, it was just a Reddit thread, buried in some lost sub with barely 10 upvotes. A user called @BeastTruth claimed that Jimmy wasn't just good at YouTube, he was chosen. They said sometime around 2018, MrBeast's channel exploded in a way that didn't make sense. Algorithm manipulation? Sure. Charisma? Definitely. But every channel that collaborated with him even once saw strange growth, spikes that defied normal patterns. But some disappeared afterward. The theory said he made a deal, a pact, gave up something, maybe even someone, and in return, the biggest channel on the planet. But there was a catch. Anyone who got too close to the truth started seeing things, and then they vanished. I thought it was a joke, so I made a video. The MrBeast Curse, real or just really viral? I dug deeper than usual, ran metadata on his oldest uploads, enhanced a few distorted frames in his challenge videos. That's when I found the mark, a symbol, subtle, almost invisible, etched on the background wall in several of his videos. Not in the same place, not always clear, but it was there. Something like an eye or a claw, wrapped in a circle, always watching. I thought it was an ARG, a hidden puzzle. So I did what any idiot internet sleuth would do. I followed it, used frame-by-frame analysis, scraped URLs, cross-referenced old thumbnails. It led to a broken video link, unlisted. The title was just Beast 0. No views, no likes. The thumbnail was completely black, but when I clicked it, the screen didn't stay black. It started with static, then a distorted version of one of his older videos played, the one counting to 100,000. Except the numbers weren't being spoken. They were whispered, faint, layered, like 100 voices behind the mic. And at 66,666, the video glitched, cut to a still image. MrBeast sitting at a table, eyes open too wide, smiles stretched unnaturally. Behind him, that symbol again, glowing faintly red. Then the screen went black, and for a second, I saw myself. Not from my webcam, from somewhere behind me, watching. I shut my laptop, tore it from the wall, but that night, I heard scratching inside it, like something trapped, trying to claw out. The next few days were a blur. My Wi-Fi kept auto-connecting to unknown networks named Beast Room and Subscribe. Random devices, TVs, Bluetooth speakers would play snippets of Jimmy's voice, but wrong, lower, like someone imitating him poorly.
You want to be next? Say yes.
The worst part was the mirror. 3 nights after uploading the video, I saw someone else in it. Not a reflection, another version of me. Smiling, holding up a phone, showing a frame from my own video that didn't exist. I deleted the upload, pulled it from every platform, but people had already downloaded it, shared it. Then the comments started. He's watching you now. The mark is on your thumbnail. You shouldn't have seen Beast 0. I brushed it off until the emails came in from other creators. Names I'd never heard of, all small channels. They said the same thing. They clicked the same video, and now something was following them. One said she woke up with her phone glued to her hand. The screen burned with a sigil. Another said he saw Jimmy outside his window, but his mouth opened sideways. Grimtone. They started disappearing. One guy live-streamed himself smashing every device in his apartment. Right before the stream ended, he whispered, "It's not a curse. It's a contract." And we're all just clicks. Then, silence. Soft, broken. I don't upload anymore. I don't comment. I don't even scroll. But the whispers come through everything now. TV static, airplane engines, even my own breathing. And sometimes I swear, I still see that thumbnail in my YouTube history, even though I cleared it, even though the video doesn't exist. Final whisper. If you ever find it, if you ever see that red circle with the claw in the background of a MrBeast video, don't look for it. Don't click. Desperate. Because the deeper you go, the closer it gets. And remember, you don't get cursed for watching. You get cursed for understanding.